Hi everyone, welcome to the May virtual DCMGA monthly meeting. I'm back in my garden, so I want to show you my own seed garden. In my seed garden are larkspur and cosmos and blanket flower, and I do it the lazy way. I just let it reseed and it all comes back the next year. The next thing I want to show you is the new native plant garden, recently planted during this COVID-19 pandemic.
Hello, dear friends, Master Gardeners and 2020 interns. The pandemic has certainly changed the way we do things. I hope that we will see each other in the garden project soon. It looks like we must be patient. It is so important to stay healthy and safe. We want to welcome Jeff Raska as the new Master Gardener Program Coordinator. And now for announcements. Dallas County Master Gardener Association has canceled all fundraising events through June 30th, except for the plant sale at Raincatcher's Garden on June 2nd. The association will continue to have all monthly meetings virtually from now through November. If you view the virtual meetings, you may receive 1 CEU per meeting. Please send in short videos to Jessica Krusiger to spotlight your own home gardens. This will be very much appreciated and enjoyed by our fellow gardeners. A State of the DCMGA Finances letter will be sent to Master Gardeners in the next 2 weeks to provide information on the impact of COVID-19. The changes coming about in the past few weeks sometimes happen at a rapid pace. Volunteers can start going back into the garden projects starting June 1st. All of us must follow hygiene protocols and other requirements as stipulated in the new advisory sent out by Cynthia Jones on the request of Jeff Raska on May 24th. Read the Return to the Garden document and hours for certified master gardeners, which will also be published in the Helping Hands newsletter. As a team, the Association Board of Directors will prepare a strategic plan that will focus on financial sustainability, succession planning for 2021, community focus and education, and volunteer retention and value. Our committee chairs will provide a structure to determine goals and objectives for the remaining year and a roadmap for the future new board members for 2021. It is our hope that the plan will be completed by July 1, 2020. The plan will be placed in Helping Hands newsletter. Our shout outs go to 2 educational opportunities for the Master Gardeners to get CEUs. One is Water University, and you see the link, and also Aggie Horticulture Facebook, who have weekly educational events. Also a shout out to the DCMGA budget reduction team. Cynthia Jones, Lynn Prude, Cordelia Cottingham, and Fern Brown did such a huge job to provide us with this reduction plan that was also helped by Barry Bloom, our treasurer, to keep all the numbers straight. So a big thank you again. And also to the school and project coordinators and leaders for your assistance in the budget production process. We couldn't have done it without you. Our project spotlight is the White Rock Bathhouse Garden. The address of the Bathhouse Cultural Center that the garden is in front of is at 521 East Lawther Drive in Dallas. The large oval medium in front of the Bathhouse Cultural Center provides master gardeners with an opportunity to create a water conservation, earth-kind pollinator demonstration garden in a popular public space. Visitors to the park, along with the butterflies and bees, enjoy the artfully planted collection of native and adaptive plants that surround the sculpture. There is also a small garden around the historical market at Winfrey Point at 8300 East Lawther Drive. Master gardeners maintain the gardens and answer visitors' questions about using best horticulture practices. Workdays are scheduled as needed. We want to also thank the following donors: Bathhouse Cultural Center, City of Dallas Parks and Recreation Department, and For the Love of the Lake. And thank you to all the Master Gardener volunteers for giving your effort and time to making this a beautiful representation of the Dallas County Master Gardener Program. Dallas County Master Gardeners have an opportunity to join in the collaboration with the City of Dallas Department of Urban Agriculture and Slow Food DFW to help grow our local seed library. As many of you have noticed, it was as difficult to find seeds this spring as it was to find toilet paper. Living the COVID-19 is teaching us to save and conserve, and what better way to help us all get growing than seed saving. We are hoping that you contribute to this project and help us grow. We're looking for vegetable, herb, and flower seeds. These seeds are being collected and donated to the Dallas Public Library Seed Library. The Seed Library is a depository of seeds held in trust for the community at large. Seeds are free to the community, so read Helping Hands newsletter for May to get all the details. If you do participate in this project, your hours will be under the VMS project description, Seed Library project, and under the selected project, AgriLife, 4-H, etc. And now for our presentation. We are blessed and grateful to have Roseanne Ferguson to provide our presentation all about seeds. She is the volunteer coordinator for the TDG Greenhouse and has years of experience in propagating plants and in seed storage and production. Please welcome Roseanne.
Hello, Master Gardener friends. This is Roseanne Ferguson. I wish I were right there speaking to you directly, but this virtual meeting will have to do for the present. We'll be together again soon. But in the meantime, welcome to the world of seeds. I am a visual person and I love seeds and seed pods. Our very existence depends on seeds and seed production. In this bizarre time of COVID-19 and food insecurity, a discussion about seeds seems particularly appropriate. First, a couple of interesting facts. The world's largest seed is the fruit of the double coconut palm and weighs in at about 40 pounds. For comparison, a standard bowling ball weighs about 16 pounds. The smallest seeds in the world come from tropical orchids and weigh just 10 billionth of an ounce. Seeds appear in many shapes, sizes, and even colors. But seeds are so much more than just a pretty picture. While preparing for this presentation, I came across something which really spoke to me. You've no doubt heard the proverb, "Give a man a fish, and you've fed him for the day. But teach a man to fish, and you've fed him for a lifetime." I would like to expand on that idea and say, give a man a seed and you feed him for a season, but teach a man to collect and save seeds and you fed him for a lifetime. I have a trivia question for you. How many radishes can you hold in just one hand? 30, 40, 50? You can potentially hold 5,000. Just think about this. In your hand, you can potentially hold 5,000 radishes. Radish seeds, that is. Okay, that's cool, but just how many radishes can one person eat? A more practical seed might be corn. How many ears of corn can you hold in one hand? 3, maybe 4. Well, in a packet of corn seeds, you are potentially holding 200 corn plants. And you can do the math after that, but you get the idea. You can potentially hold several hundred ears of corn in your hand. Robert Louis Stevenson, the renowned 19th century writer, put it this way: "Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant." I think this could be a wonderful mantra for all of us to live by. Don't judge each day by the harvest you reap, but by the seeds that you plant. Today, we're going to talk a little about harvesting, a little about storing, and a little about planting seeds. But as my title stated, it's the wonderful world of seeds. We talk about seeds, but exactly what is a seed? A seed is a flowering plant's unit of reproduction that is capable of developing into another such plant. In other words, a seed is a tiny plant enclosed inside a seed coat along with a small amount of stored food. One author has said, think of it as a baby in a box with a lunch. Nature has programmed seeds to wait until all the conditions are just right before it can germinate or produce a new plant. Can you imagine the chaos if seeds just spontaneously created new plants? We would quickly be overrun by random plants growing everywhere. I am often asked to identify seeds, and that can be a really difficult to impossible task. You will need to read or research if you do not know exactly what a particular seed looks like. I have been fooled more than once. The Google option Images on your computer is your friend. For example, here are just 4 seeds: a milkweed, a zinnia, a woolly pipevine, and a datura. An important fact is that seeds can move, but plants cannot move on their own. You may say, well, that's obvious. And yes, it is. But I would like for you to think for just a moment how seeds actually do move around. Have you ever considered why there are so many plants growing along fence rows. Birds eat the seeds, birds sit on the fence, birds poop while sitting on the fence. Plants grow along the fence row. But seeds also travel by wind, by attaching to the hair or fur of animals, by water, by simply bursting and flinging themselves in all directions, and finally by humans like you gathering them. Let's talk for just a few minutes about where we get our seeds. We basically have two choices. We can gather or we can buy. So let's talk about some guidelines for gathering seeds. Probably the most important point is this: wait until the seed is ripe. I collect seeds, and my friends know that, and frequently bring me seeds. Recently, a friend brought me an entire bag full of datura seeds. She was so pleased with herself because she thought she had brought me a real treasure. However, what she really brought me was a bag full of unripe seeds that were good for nothing. So the number one rule is to be patient and wait for the seeds to ripen. That generally means when the seed pod is brown and dry. The pod should easily break off with a gentle twist or tug. If possible, collect throughout the habitat to ensure genetic diversity. I will say this several times, and I really do mean it. You need to read and research the plants and seeds which you plan to collect. The second point is to clean and dry the seeds after you gather them. Dry the seeds on a paper towel or in a paper bag for a couple of days. Place the bag or towel in a cool, dry area. Then you should separate the seeds from the pod or capsule. Storing even minimally damp seeds is dangerous and will likely result in mold on your seeds. When you visually observe the seeds, discard those which are misshapen or light-colored. They are likely not viable. Again, you will need to read or research if you do not know exactly what the seed looks like. Then you will need to find a cool, dry area in which to store your seeds. Now let me be clear. Neither the garage nor the glove box of your car is the correct place to store seeds. I like to store seeds in the refrigerator, but a cabinet or closet inside the house will be just fine. Please do not place seeds in a freezer. I do recommend that you place the seeds in an airtight container unless you intend to plant the seeds within a few days. You could use a jar or a plastic bag, and be sure you label and date the container of seeds. And you should do this immediately. You think you will remember, but take my word, you may not. Finally, be sure you research the plants and propagation needs. There are some seeds that must be sown when they are fresh. They do not store well at all. Others can safely be stored for years. Some seeds need to be planted in the fall, and others are to be planted in the spring. Research can save you time and frustration, but most importantly, research can save your seeds. Those seeds which need to be planted in the fall can also be cold stratified in a moist, cold medium and started indoors in the late winter or early spring. You may also need or want to purchase your seeds. Always buy from a reputable supplier. I occasionally buy from an unknown buyer when all else fails. But sometimes it works, and other times I have been disappointed. When possible, buy from a local supplier or at least one within the state. If you are buying vegetable seeds, most definitely buy varieties adapted to our area. Finally, when you are buying seeds, be sure to check the date on the package. If there is no date, don't waste your money. The Dallas Public Library recently added a seed catalog to their collection. Since the old catalogs were sitting around unused, some clever librarian decided to begin a seed collection in them. They invite you to contribute to the collection or to take seeds from the collection whenever you need, and plant what will actually grow in our area. Then decide how many you need. If you are growing tomatoes for only yourself, you probably do not need 12 plants. Finally, determine when you should plant. Is it a spring garden or is it a fall garden? When is the last frost? Seeds have very specific requirements in order for germination to occur. First, the seed coat must be penetrated with water. Those seeds with very thick seed coats present a problem. Some of them must be scratched in order to penetrate the coat. Some must be soaked in water for several hours, and some must be either planted in the fall or stored in a moist mixture in the refrigerator for several weeks or months to replicate overwintering. Second, seeds must have access to oxygen. That is part of the reason for not burying the seeds too deeply in the soil. Third, the temperature must be correct. Most seeds need a temperature of around 70 degrees Fahrenheit in order to germinate. Finally, some seeds need darkness to germinate, and some need light. If your seed packet states, "Do not cover," that is exactly what it means. If you cover those seeds with soil, you probably will not have germination. There are a few seeds which require fire in order to germinate, but you probably will not be growing those plants. So after you have determined all these things, and you have decided to get a head start on the weather, you may want to start your seeds indoors. Here are a few recommendations. First, use a good potting soil without fertilizer if possible. Find an area with excellent light. This can either be a sunny window or some kind of artificial lighting, but good light is absolutely essential. The temperature should be in the range of 70 degrees, and you may use a heating pad designed especially for plants if you wish. When planting the seeds in the soil, first determine whether the seed is to be covered. As I stated, some seeds are not covered. These require light directly on the seeds for germination. However, most seeds need some soil covering them. A good rule of thumb for those is to cover with 3 times the diameter of the seed. For very small seeds, that's a very light dusting of fine soil. The soil in which you plant should be damp but not soggy. If you decide to cover the container with either a dome or plastic wrap, be sure to uncover once the plants emerge through the soil. Now here is a difficult task, but you must do it. After the plants develop its second set of leaves, the true leaves, you need to thin the plants to about 1 plant per inch of space. You need to do this by clipping other plants off at the soil surface. Try to keep the soil moist but not soggy, and as the temperatures rise, you should gradually move the containers outdoors. You should transplant the seedlings from the seed tray to small pots, probably 4-inch pots, to encourage good roots to be established. When you are ready to place your plants in the ground, wait until you are reasonably sure we are frost-free. Plant the seedlings at the same level as they were in the pots. In other words, do not allow roots to be uncovered, and do not pile the soil up higher on the stems. One exception to this is the tomato plant, which may be planted deeper than in the original pots. Again, be sure to label the plants. You will think you will remember, but memory often fails us. It is very important that you not crowd the plants. Consider how large they will be at maturity. A step that too many fail to take is watering in new plants. This step must not be overlooked. You will want to close those air pockets which you created when you dug the hole, and you will want to make sure the soil and the roots merge. It is also a good idea to mulch around your plants. This will deter the growth of weeds, keep the soil a more constant temperature, add nutrients, and conserve water. Please remember to pull the mulch away about 1 inch from the stem of the seedling. If you expect severe weather, you can cover your new plants, but avoid using plastic that comes in direct contact with the plant leaves. Then you simply monitor for growth, water when needed, and enjoy the progress. Watering should occur in the mornings to avoid disease issues. There are lots of helpful resources available, and one that I highly recommend is Aggie Horticulture. Another of my propagating plants is simply called Propagating Plants by Alan Toogood. This book is published by DK and is available through Amazon. For many of you, this may have been a review of concepts you already knew, but I hope I've given you a couple of useful new ideas as we discussed gathering, storing, and planting seeds. Now remember, wear your mask and wash your hands frequently, and we'll be seeing each other very, very soon. Enjoy your harvest.
Thank you for watching the May virtual monthly meeting. I hope you enjoyed it. I want to, though, put out something that you might be able to do for me. For the next few months when we have our virtual meetings, please send me a short video of your own garden and we can show them off. Thank you so much, and you take care. And as always, we can never thank you enough. Bye-bye.